I'm ready.
And we are live. So welcome everyone to today's live Q&A. And today we have Jenny from Sellerboard with us.
Yes.
Sellerboard is a tool that helps sellers. It's very effective with scaling. And that's what we're going to be focusing on as well today, is tracking, managing, and scaling. But Jenny, thank you for making the time.
Thank you for finding the time to have me on your YouTube channel. So it's a pleasure.
Sure. And if you just want to give like a quick intro, what do you do with Sellerboard and the basics of Sellerboard? What are the goals?
Sure. So I'm Jenny, and I do marketing and partnerships for Sellerboard, negotiations and so on. As well, I do demos and webinars. So this is the reason I'm here today. So Sellerboard is an accurate profit analytics service, let's say, for Amazon sellers with additional tools. So we have, for example, follow-up email campaigns, which is the autoresponder, inventory management, reimbursements for lost and damaged stock and other FBA errors, PPC optimization feature, listing change alerts, and much more. So
Awesome.
yeah, this is what Sellerboard does. We are a super accurate tool, and I guess by the end of today's live session, your audience will understand why.
For sure. And something I like to ask whenever a service or tool comes on is, what makes you unique? So, you know, if you've obviously got feedback from sellers, what features do they love the most? What makes you unique to other tools? What do you specialize in?
Sure. So the first reason I would say we stand out from all the other tools is because, well, we start at $15 a month, with all the features included. That's the first point. The second point is that we are, I would like to say, the most accurate tool on the market right now for the past 2-3 years. We pull out we found over 70 Amazon fees. So when we show you, I'll show you on the dashboard. When we show everything, we break down all the Amazon withdrawals, PPC ads, costs. So when we show you your sales and your net profit, we show you everything accurately. We're great for inventory management. We're great for PPC optimization. We have over 8,000 happy Amazon sellers that are using our software. So the first thing I would say is that, yes, we are the most accurate, as I'd like to say. Well, it's not been proven and it's not like a fact in Wikipedia, but yes, we are. Yes, we're super accurate. We help sellers, and we do that for a very low price, starting $15 a month.
Excellent. And would you, if you can, Jenny, would you actually would you screen share the dashboard and just like showcase some of those features, which are like your most loved features?
Sure. Yes.
And then one of the key topics I really want to get into is how your cash flow tool works, because that's a huge piece of the puzzle with, you know, a private label business. But there we go.
You can see my screen at the moment, right?
Yes.
So when you register at Sellerboard, this is probably the first thing you'll see is the dashboard. And the reason we're super accurate, let's say, let's pick this month, for example. We'll show you sales, number of order, units, the refunds. You'll even know the refund reasons. So this is like a short statistics on your sales at the current period, right? But all the triangles are as well expandable, by the way. So so this is like a preview on how your Amazon business is going at the moment, right? You can always configure the time period here, view information, specific products and marketplaces, filter by marketplaces as well. So this is the first thing you'll see. If you scroll down, you'll see the products, and we'll show you as well information on the products. So how many units were sold for this specific chosen period, the number of refunds, what are the refund reasons, sales that were made for over $10,000 here. But this is a demo account, so of course they're fake products. The amount that was spent on ads, how many sellable returns you have at the moment. So people, sometimes buyers, they return back their purchase to Amazon. And we even show you what's the percentage and what's the amount of returned products that are actually resellable at the moment. So your gross profit, net profit margin, ROI, BSR, and we show all the additional information over here. So this is like a short preview on how is it going at the moment. Of course, we can show you everything by chart. I'm sorry, it's loading a bit because it's a demo account. So if you choose a specific month, let's say November, you'll view all the information for November here. This is very comfortable for comparing sales periods, right? We'll also show you the amount that was spent on advertising costs, shipping, refund costs, and so on. We have a P&L view, profit and loss. It will be in a form of a table here. And so this way we can compare periods as well. And we have a trends, but we'll get back to trends later. So yes, here it goes.
Okay.
So yes, we also added a new feature recently around last week. So the new feature is compare. Just a second. So compare is over here. Basically what it does is it allows you to compare time periods. So as you see here, you'll be able to compare yesterday to the 26th of last month, let's say, today to yesterday. This one is always loading. Just a second. So to compare month. As you see here is a comparison between this month and last month. And we also show a forecast. So this is what we've added here recently. This way, it's much easier for sellers to understand in percentage how well they're doing, whether they've gone down or up, and so on. So this one is loading a bit, but let me refresh a bit.
While that loads, one of the things I really want to look at with you is the cash flow section. If you could take us through this, because I mean, this is a question I get frequently, is on cash flow and how to manage cash flow, because that's always a difficult thing. You're always, you're earning your revenue, but then you're purchasing more stock. And sometimes you actually need to purchase stock before you've got a lot of your sales revenue. So cash flow planning is critical and probably one of the least spoken about parts of this business. So I'm really interested in this, and if you could share a bit on this tool.
Sure. Thank you for this question. It's actually great. So the thing is that, to start an Amazon business, it takes a lot of money. I'm not a seller, but I know it. And of course, you're making money as a seller, but your money is constantly in the products, in new purchases, let's say new stock and so on. So all sellers want to know how much do they have at the moment on their balance, how much they can invest or how much they can take out for a holiday and so on. So the cash flow is great. It's a great tool. For example, we can always choose custom range the periods, but I'll leave it at the last 12 months. So if you click on any, we'll show you, let's say we've chosen here September, right? So we'll show you how much cash you have in hand, what's the difference, the dividends, purchasing of goods, expense of investments, and payout. So here, the cash in hand, it's a demo account. So this is an example, but I'll explain it. This is it. The reason it's minus $3,460 because it's an example of in case you invested in the business, so you're obviously in the minus, right?
Yes.
So the cash you have on hand, you're actually in minus, you're in debt a bit at the moment.
Exactly.
We are showing you how much you've invested. What's your current payout from Amazon? So it's $1,598. How much you've spent on various expenses. I'll get to that in the moment. And if we go back, for example, here, you'll say that you have the cash in hand. It's in plus, so it's 4,573. It's not in minus. It means that you've gone out of the debt. Let's say the amount you landed landed from someone, let's say, to invest in your business, but over time, over the period of months, you've actually paid it back, and now you're in plus at the moment. So here it's like 4,000. Yes. So how it works, when you register at Sellerboard, you'll have to go to products, the first thing you do, and you will have to enter their cost of goods. Right. Okay. So, of course, if you have a spreadsheet, you can import. There is an example, a template here, and it will be automatically display it here. If you don't have a spreadsheet, the first thing you'll have to do is edit the cost of goods, make sure it's correct. And whether you're doing FBA or FBM, if you're doing FBM for some specific products, you'll have to enter the shipping cost and so on. Once you do this, you'll have to go back to expenses for managing your cash flow. And you will have to, just a second, you'll have to go to the cash flow, I'm sorry. In order for us to show you accurate information, you'll have to enter the expenses that you are spending over time, whether they're monthly expenses that basically the money that you spend monthly, or whether they're one-time payments. So for example, if you do listing optimization, if you spend listing optimization, it's like a one-time payment, right? If you take pictures to update your listing and so on, you'll add it here. Photo shooting, tax consultant is obviously a monthly expense. Accounting software is obviously a monthly expense. So all expenses that are somehow connected to Amazon, you're spending on your business on Amazon, are added. Then we take them into calculation in the software. So even the order samples is an example here because you pay for it. Based on that, we'll show you accurate information back in the dashboard, right? You'll see how much was spent, and if you go back to the cash flow, you'll understand how much money you have in hand. So this is the money that you can actually, as long as you're not in minus, right? Let's say here in plus. So you have a payout of $1,256 for this period, as an example. This is the money that you have on hand. Of course, you can take it into consideration that you can spend it for a holiday with your family, let's say to the Disneyland or to the sea and so on. But you have to consider, once again, if you go back to the dashboard, the stock that you have to repurchase. Let's say if you go here to the products, if it's red, and we click here, for example, let me go back, I'm sorry. If you point here, for example, just a second, I'll turn this off. So if you go here, for example, we'll understand that it's time to reorder, but you're still not running out of stock based on your sales velocity. So you still have a few units to sell, but it's time to reorder. So the amount that you have on hand at the moment, you need to understand whether this is enough for you to purchase another stock of your products, or whether you want to spend it somewhere else. So the features are connected, but still, it will show you how much, what has been spent, what's your current balance, what's the amount that you have in hand. But through the dashboard, you'll be able to understand whether you need to restock some products and how much are you likely to spend on that. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, so this is linking managing inventory and managing cash flow, and linking the two. I think that the critical part of the cash flow is those inputs you showed at the beginning, where you're inputting your manufacturing cost, shipping cost. I think that's really critical, and that people can input that correctly. That's probably going to include, because this is where sometimes people get confused, or where these things can be inaccurate, is because you don't put in, say, the international shipping cost. So those are really important. If you could jump back to that screen, I think we put in a landed cost there.
Are you talking about, just a second,
when we input the expenses for like manufacturing?
Sure, just a second, it's loading. So are you talking about this table?
Yes,
here?
Your COGS. Okay. So the cost of goods sold, this part here, I assume that includes manufacturing and shipping.
So you add the manufacturing and the shipping amount separately?
Yeah, let's say I'm ordering from a supplier in China.
Okay.
It's the manufacturing of those goods and the shipping from, say, China to the US. Okay. It's that full cost that we put in here.
Yes, exactly. So you will have to enter the cost, the money that you're basically going to spend, or that you've spent, in order to ship your products back to the Amazon warehouse, to FBA, or to your own warehouse.
Oh, this is perfect. This screen explains
So
it really
yes,
well here because you've got
what
all
we
of
show
these
here
separately.
What we show here is we'll count the units that have been manufactured, for example, and how many units were manufactured, and we'll automatically calculate for you the amount the amount that it costs to manufacture the product per unit. So we'll show you, this will calculate automatically what it costs based on this amount and the number of units. We'll show you what are the semi-costs per unit. So yes, this is actually, you'll have to, as once again, we can, if you have a spreadsheet prior to using Sellerboard, most of the people run a spreadsheet, or they're using other softwares and so on. Instead of doing all that manually, you can actually import a spreadsheet based on our template, and we'll automatically show you everything here. But if you do not have one, of course, you'll have to do it manually. It might be hard for those who have a few thousands of products, but I'm sure they have such kind of sellers. They're probably big. I don't know because I'm a seller, but still, I assume that they will have virtual assistants, let's say, who might help edit all these costs and so on. But that's if you don't have a spreadsheet.
On this clearance, that stands for custom clearance, I would assume. It was in the pop-up there.
Yes, this is an example, as it's a demo account, but yes, it's a custom clearance. You can also add here all other fees that might be included in the manufacturing of your product, or in sending it to the warehouse, or PayPal fees and so on. And it will be, you can always add here whatever fee it is, and you can we will take it into consideration back, and in order to show you that back in the dashboard. So everything that affects your whatever money you spend on your business should be calculated, right? So even if it's like $2 for something, for let's say a sample and so on. So we take every single penny into consideration to show you the clean amount, the clean net profit that you're left with in the end.
Yeah, I like it because even inspections is here. And this is something that many sellers will overlook. You are paying the inspection, but it's not sort of included in your cash flow planning, in your overall business profit and loss. So that's why I'm really digging into this. It might seem menial, but this is actually the crux. If you put this all in correctly, then you're generally going to get good data back, because this will obviously link with the seller account and pull all those costs and fees. But Jenny, Sean asks, just on this, how does it recognize what data is what if you use a spreadsheet? So say I upload a spreadsheet.
Yes, sure.
I assume it's via your template.
Sure. When you want to import, so basically none of the sellers would want to enter all the costs manually, right? And mention whether it's constant or by period, batch, and so on. So you can import a spreadsheet, but you'll have to open our template over here. We'll show you, it will be downloaded at the moment. I'm not sure if I can screen share that. I don't know. Can you, just a second?
Sure.
Because I've opened screen sharing to the Chrome. Let's say it this way. Can you see my screen now? I'm opening a separate file.
Not just yet.
Okay.
I think if you stop sharing, let me remove this.
Sure. We can skip that. So when you click on import, a template will be downloaded. Based on the template, we will show you what you need to edit in your spreadsheet that you have ready, what you need to add or remove before you import it into Sellerboard. Once it's important, so we'll show you a template for everything. Basically, whether it's products, data, or COGS and shipping by order, we'll show you templates for every file you would want to import. And based on this template, you'll edit your own spreadsheet before you upload it into Sellerboard. It's actually very simple, because you'll just have to add or delete a column. So it won't take you a lot of time other than like, I don't know, 10 minutes. But it's worth it because I know a lot of sellers that were spending money, well, because I'm in touch with support, let's say, right? And a lot of our partners are constantly coming to me with questions before going to support. So they're always saying, well, I've spent some money on, let's say, listing optimization, or I've done a photo shooting, or I've done some other stuff in order to make my products appear better on Amazon on the listing. But I've not added that into the expenses that I've made for the month. So I have more money at the moment than I expected. But if you remember the money that you've spent, you don't have more than you expected because you've already spent some money. So they're coming back. But you have to enter this otherwise, because if you're selling with a partner, let's say you're selling, I don't know, forks, okay? Forks and knives and spoons and so on Amazon. And you're selling these products with a partner. So basically your partner is in another country, and you've spent some money on the listing optimization and so on because you have a few photographer friends, let's say. But you've actually paid them. So you pay the amount, you improve your listing, you make cool changes, your product is selling better, but you've spent around $300. This money that you spend in order to improve, in order to get more sales, should be divided between you and your partner. But of course, if you don't mention it, your partner will not know, or he will not divide the expense by half with him. So, and in the end of the month, you're thinking, well, there's like $100, $200 left, but it's actually $300. You should enter every single penny you're spending in order to make your business grow, and for all changes as well.
Yeah, 100%. Also, I think the other side of it is your expenses are usually tax deductible. So this is a way of also storing all your expenses and knowing, you're in profitability. I think it actually is particularly useful in the beginning if you are not using accountants yet. This is a really good way to also keep track of things in terms of that.
So
I also just wanted to say hello to those in the chat. Dropshipping, Sean, Ashim. Ashim asks, Jenny, my question is Sellerboard available for Amazon India sellers? And then Mahad also asked, which markets is this compatible with? So overall, what is the compatibility for this tool?
It's available for India. We are supporting most of the marketplaces. We're not supporting at the moment Amazon Japan and Amazon Australia. We have that in plan, but we're not supporting that at the moment. But we're supporting Egypt marketplace, right? I'll even let you know about them. So we're supporting US, Canada, Mexico, Germany, UK, France, Spain, Italy, Netherlands, Sweden, Poland, Brazil, Turkey, India, UAE, Emirates, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt. We plan to extend to Japan and Australia, but we haven't had the availability to do that at the moment.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I live next to the hospital, so I have a lot of ambulance noises.
I can hear. I can hear the sirens.
Even though I closed the window, but I live in the center of the city, basically, and they're heard anyway. So
some of the cities, some of the cities around the world have insanely loud ambulances and police cars.
And I live on the fourth floor, and I live in the area where all hospitals are like 200 meters away. I have like 7 near my house. So I'm sorry for that. I can't control it.
They actually have, I was wondering about it because it was so loud in some of the cities I've been in, and they actually have laws. I know this is totally off topic, but they have laws where they have to play the sirens to ensure it's like warning people not to like walk in front of the vehicle and stuff.
Because a lot of people drive very loud music in their cars, and they don't usually hear the ambulance to let them pass by, especially if you live in the city of a country and it's always traffic everywhere, It's horrible. So I'm really sorry. I tried to close the window, but I live on the fourth floor, that's why. So yes,
And
we
hello.
support most of the marketplaces, and we support
Okay.
India, and yeah, that's it.
Awesome. And then we also have Kakadia, Dov, Sean, and Kevin, and Carl. Thank you guys for joining
Thank
live
you.
as well. And Kevin's from Lakeland, Florida.
Okay,
Awesome.
listen.
And then, so at this point, I think the next big thing, Jenny, is on inventory planning, which you kind of touched on, how the cash flow plan is going to help you with the inventory planning as well. How much
Exactly.
cash do you have on hand? How much and when do you need to order? But this is another key thing, and why I like what you guys are doing, because I get a lot of questions on cash flow and inventory planning. When do I reorder? When are those alerts generated?
Okay.
And it's also something sellers put off. So they don't plan, they run out of stock, and then they really worry about, is their rank going to fall? How do they preserve ranking? Just because that plan isn't in place. So if you could share a bit about your inventory planning or your stock planning tool, and
Exactly.
what alerts is that going to give sellers?
The first thing that I'd like to mention is that Vladdy Gordon, he is the co-founder of Sellerbird. So we have two. There is Michael and there is Vladdy. Vladdy was an ex-seller. He didn't know. It was back in 2016. He didn't know how much was he doing on Amazon. He didn't know his real numbers because, I mean, as mentioned in the beginning, we've managed to pull out over 70 Amazon fees, which we take into consideration when counting your net profit, sales, and so on. And he didn't know how much money he was doing, when it's time to restock, how to manage the inventory. And he actually created Sellerboard for himself. Then he understood that, well, this is a great idea because it might be very helpful for other sellers. So he quit selling to avoid conflict of interest with their users, and he launched Sellerboard. So to explain it shortly, inventory management is super good because for every product you can specify production and shipment time to the FBA warehouse or your, let's say, prep center if you have one. And we calculate the selling speed per product on your 3, 7, and 30-day period sales, and automatically notify you whether it's time to restock in the FBA warehouse or to place an order with your supplier. So here is how it's done. So if we go back to the dashboard, right, and we scroll down, as mentioned, can you see my screen?
Yes, all good.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. So just a second.
Got to get that coffee. So
we count your sales velocity, and based on your 3, 7, and 30 period day sales velocity, we already know a forecast on how many units you're likely to sell in the next upcoming period. And if it's red, it means it's time to restock. But you see here, it's written no on whether you're running out of stock. So at the moment, you haven't run out yet. But the estimated sales velocity per day is 28.22. So let's say 28.5 units are sold daily. You have units enough for the next 25 days. You're not running out of stock. You have 0 reserved. You have 0 sent to FBA. You have 0 prep center stock. You order 200. And this is what you have left at the moment. And the stock value is $533. But at the moment, based on your sales velocity, until your manufactured goods arrive, it's actually time to reorder. So based on these numbers, here you see you're not running out of stock and it's not time to reorder. So based on this, here you are running out of stock and it's time to reorder. So based on this, you understand whether you have to reorder or you don't have. We also show you the cost of goods, the price. We show you the SKU number and so on. So based on this, you understand whether it's time to actually start doing something, contact your manufacturer, or whether you can leave it and wait.
Okay.
So this is about the inventory management. It's very simple because we don't only show you this here because, if you go to the dashboard and you view this, you might forget about it. We'll also notify you in just a second. So we'll also notify you per on the alerts. We have an alerts feature. Here is an example. So you'll either receive, these are just example of alerts. You'll either receive a notification here. It will be like a 1 or 2 sign, just as notifications on Facebook, let's say, or Instagram. So you'll receive a notification here or per email. It depends on how you adjust the alert settings. And we'll notify you separately whether it's time to reorder and so on.
Okay, and then Jenny,
So we'll not
seller,
only leave it on the dashboard, we'll notify you as a notification as well.
okay, and then Jenny, the seller is inputting here the lead time from the manufacturer, because that's obviously going to indicate when to reorder.
Sure.
So will they input
they'll have to
Go ahead.
indicate how long does it take to manufacture their product and how long does it take to ship the product to Amazon, based on both sales velocity and based on both velocity and velocity of your sales per daily period, right? Or per, let's say, 3, 7, and 30-day period. We'll calculate whether it's enough stock left for until your next shipment arrives.
Excellent. And for those of you who do that, I would recommend put in a buffer, put in a little buffer zone of maybe like 3 weeks, because as you've seen, Amazon can take very long to actually receive your inventory. So you do want to put in a bit of contingency time as well with those calculations.
I mean, I personally like to put extra 3 days on whatever I do. So if I plan to go somewhere, I plan like 3 days ahead to do the task. Or in everything I promise that I'm gonna do, I add 3 days just like as a backup. If I do it earlier, it's better. So I suggest the same for sellers. So it's better if you ask your manufacturer to create the goods 3 days earlier rather than you do it 3 days late. So I think it's a good sign to do earlier. The earlier, the better. So let's leave for the next day what you can do today.
Cool. And then Osgur, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Okay.
Says, I saw your website that you provide 3 automated reports in your standard package and 6 for professional package. Could you please give us some details on those reports? Thank you.
Sure. What exact reports are you talking about? I'll let you know in a second, but let's say automated reports. Sure. So the thing is, I got what you're talking about. So the thing is that if you go here, so it happens that some sellers need notifications because they don't fully manage their business, but their business is fully managed by virtual assistants. Of course, this is more for like really, let's say 15-figure sellers. Okay, anyway, the people who do like tons of money out of Amazon. So they'll not be basically managing their accounts. Virtual assistants will be doing that instead of them, and they'll just be receiving reports on a monthly basis or a daily basis and so on. So the automated reports thing is over here. Basically, this is you can choose 3 reports on the standard starting at the $15 account, which you'll be receiving every month on a selected period. So you'll be receiving dashboard by month, dashboard by product orders, sale by product or month, repeat customers, and stock history report. So you can choose the reports that you would like to receive on a specific date or between a specific period every month to your email, or you can download the files. You can actually download as much as you want. So you can go on every day and download them, but this is more for the reports that you would like to receive to your email as notification. But of course, once again, it's for people who don't, I mean, if you're using Sellerboard, you already know your numbers by the end of the day, every day, because usually sellers enter the dashboard a few times a day. But if you don't manage your account at all, of course, you would need a few reports a month, let's say 3, 5, 10 reports, depends on your needs, reports a month to know how well you're doing at the moment. But once again, this is more for the sellers who are not managing their business at all. So they're completely free.
Okay. And then Jenny, Mahad says with the email autoresponder, this is not a feature we have focused on yet, but it is something you offer. Within that autoresponder, can a seller set up to have specific email sequences for each ASIN? So
Well,
can
you
it
can
personalize it?
configure, sure, you can configure the products that you'd like to send an email notification, an email, let's say request a review on, and the products that you don't want. You can also, I'll actually show you, why not? So this is the autoresponder feature. What it does, it sends automated messages to your buyers to ask for seller feedback and so on, and to leave a review. So you can use our template, you can add your own template, or you can add the new request review template from Amazon. Just a second, cancel. Okay, so this is what it looks like, right? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay,
this
perfect.
looks very
So
cool.
this is the whole request review feature that everyone is so loud about. We also have it, and we launched it like 3 months ago. So the thing is that there are settings here. So basically, you can choose whether you want to send to all products the request review feature or to certain products. You can choose whether you want to add the customers that were, you can exclude the refunded orders as well. You can choose whether you want to send it on customers that are new or on repeat customers, and so on. So it's very manageable. You can send 2 emails if you would like, but I would suggest you just leave it at 1. So you just send the request, one request review email.
And then Jenny, so I want to make a distinction here that you have follow-up emails which you would write. So like the seller would write something, and then you have request a review.
Yes.
Those are 2 different things. Do you offer both or one?
Yes, we offer actually 3. So the first thing that we offer is our own template, which works. Well, based on statistics of our users, it works. We offer the request review feature, which is, so basically you can use Amazon request review feature, but you'll have to click on each order manually. What we do is we automate the process for you. So everything is done automatically. Once a person orders, an email is sent automatically once they receive and they try their product out. The third option is you add your own template. So you basically edit ours or add your own. But yes,
Okay.
So to mention a specific thing, let's say, so in whichever package, the features are the same. So we add all features to all packages starting at $15 a month. We do not exclude certain features from certain packages, or let's say lower price packages. Also, well, yes, basically whatever is available, it's available for all packages. It more depends on the orders you have a month. So if you're doing under 3,000 orders, you can just use the simplest, cheapest package. If you're doing over 3,000, then you'll just have to jump on the next one and so on.
Sure. And then Jenny, just scroll down a little for me.
Sure.
To this part. I just want to mention this. I'm sure everyone knows, but until we can see the review stars. Yeah. So here, I think this is really powerful. And the reason that people should be using the request review is because, as you can see, this email goes out.
From Amazon, not you.
Yeah. And that's number 1, more authority. But 2 is they can just click to fill in these stars. That gives you a rating. So they don't have to go type out a whole thing. If they do type out a story, like their opinion of the product, that's called a review. If they just click a rating, if they just click a number of stars, that's called a rating. And that's why we have the 2 different ones. But the key thing I want to express here is that it's much quicker and easier for me to quickly click 4 stars or 4.5 stars than to click and follow and go review, and maybe have to log in. So this is quick and convenient, and that's why it's so effective, is you're getting a much higher response rate from your customers.
I
So
like
I
to
love
call it, I'm sorry, I like to call it like the Uber rating, you know, you can leave a comment or you can just leave stars.
it is like that. Perfect. And hello, Ryan, Ashim, Carl, JB, FRF. Awesome. Nice to see you guys here.
Thank
And
you
then,
all for joining. Good afternoon from Palestine. Oh, I love Palestine. Good afternoon.
yeah,
Thank you for joining us.
and play nice in the chat box. So
Yes.
Jenny, how does it help to scale? So I know that we, position this as scaling, and as you can see, the big key or focus is cash flow management and then inventory management. Those are the two really big things we're focusing on, because those are the two people
So,
don't
yes.
focus.
So
And when you,
basically, I'm sorry, I'm usually very energetic, you know, and it's like almost 8 p.m., but I've woke up at 6 and I've been
no,
to the gym and everywhere else, and I'm still like energized. So yes,
go ahead.
Thank you for everyone who is joining, by the way, not only Palestine. I'm happy to see people from other countries as well. It was just the message that popped up right under my eyes, in front of my eyes. So yes. So this inventory management and cash flow are a bit different, because the cash flow part manages the money that you have on your balance, the money that you are likely to receive on payout, and the money that and based on that, you can understand whether you can invest some, I don't know, a few $100s, let's say a few thousand, into the next stock or into making your product or listings better and so on. The inventory management focuses more on whether you have to reorder to make sure that people are not purchasing your product or are not likely to purchase when you're out of stock. Otherwise, they'll purchase from your competitors. So they're very different, but based on your cash flow, you are likely to be able to manage your inventory, because if you don't have money, you cannot buy additional stock. So you have to make sure you're on track on both sides. But it's very simple. I mean, it takes 15 minutes. I would say maximum it will take you 15 minutes a day to check out your cash flow and to check out your stock inventory at the same time, not more, as well as to run on all the costs that were spent and all the month that were spent, as well as to check your alerts and so on. So it doesn't really take a lot of time, because the dashboard shows you everything in detail, but like in a short list, you know?
Sure. And I can attest to that as well. I've had situations where I'm competing really heavily with another seller, and they run out of stock, okay? And they're a big seller, like they have a big share of the market, but they run out of stock. And obviously they close the listing. So now you actually take their entire share of sales. So you could double, if not triple, your sales just in that duration. And say they're out for 2 weeks or a month. That's a humongous amount of sales. And of course, you're improving your ranking reviews in that time period. So there's also this kind of unspoken benefit that you are going, if someone else is not planning their cash flow and inventory, you get these gaps, which are massively beneficial. And that's where you can actually catch up. Some people enter markets where they feel like it's oversaturated, it's too difficult. If you plan this well, you could actually, this is where you can play catch up. This is where you can catch them. So I just thought I'd mention that, because that can be a huge deal as well, particularly if people also run out in Q4. Perfect. And then Sean asks, is there a way to send a second follow-up email after they've received the package so we can ask them to do a review or a video photo review?
Sure.
What do you think?
There you can send as much as emails as you want. You can send a follow-up email, but for each account, there's a specific number of emails that you can send. For example, the standard one includes 150 emails, if I'm not mistaken. So if you're using the standard account, of course, I would suggest you just send one per buyer. so that you have left for other buyers and other orders as well. But if you, the more account, the more the better package, or let's say the higher package you have, the more emails you're allowed to send. It's not because I've had such questions before, which I didn't really like, but I'm open to them. So I was asked before whether we put a limit on the packages, and we put a limit on the emails in order to have sellers update their package or upgrade their package, right? We're not doing this for money, but of course, to send emails to the customers, we're using an integration. So basically, we pay just like any other tool for each email that is being sent. We're an official Amazon seller. We use an official Amazon seller partner API. Am I making sense? Because I woke up like 18 hours ago, and I don't know if I am.
No, that's perfect. I think,
Okay.
Jenny,
Thank you.
pull up the
Sure.
Pricing page if you can.
Sure. Yes,
Can you
I
pull
will.
that
Just
up?
a second. So once again, and to explain it easier, for all the, well, let's do this. If you see here, there's 150 email requests per month for the standard package, and the more it goes, the more it increases. It's not because we put, let's say, a limit in order for you to upgrade. No, we use Amazon's official selling partner API to send request review campaigns. For people who are in the IT space, they should understand that running a software costs a lot of money, it costs a lot of time, and in order to add additional features, you have to pay for them. So basically, the amount of emails that are being sent per each user, we actually pay some specific amount per each. This is the reason we cannot add up to $150 of 150 emails for the standard $15 package. So this is not because we try to persuade you to choose another package. No, we're completely open, let's say, and patient about everything. We're happy with how Sellerboard is growing because in a year and a half, it has grown massively. I mean, we're doing a great job, but we pay for additional integrations, and this is what allows us the email number that we can allow at the moment for the standard package. But yes, the better package you choose, the more emails you can send.
Okay.
But I
think
would
it's-
suggest that you send one email per buyer instead of a sequence, because if they haven't replied on the first one, they're not likely to reply on the second one. This is my personal opinion because I very much know business and analytics and so on. This is like using cold follow-up campaigns. You know, you call a person, I hate this because I receive tons of such calls from different companies. They call you 100 times or 1,000 times until you reply, just so they can present something and use it in order to make the conversation last longer. It doesn't very much work with Amazon buyers. So you better not make a headache for anyone. They will see your email because they're likely to clean their inbox, and their review decision is dependent on them. But of course, doing a request review can play a big role because it's new and it catches attention. So they're more likely to respond on that.
I agree. I think the key now is to, I used to send sequences that were like 3 emails and spend so much time designing these, but people just don't have the time. So one is much stronger at this point, what I've figured out. And I definitely agree with you, rather use the request review just because it's so much more convenient.
And they receive it from Amazon, not you. So it's building so much more trust other than they would receive from you. They're already receiving it from Amazon, and whatever the review they leave, it will be appearing on your listing page and so on.
For sure. And then Jenny, is Sellerboard up to date with the new Amazon policies? So it's
Of
obviously
course.
like TOS.
Yes.
What do you think?
Yes. This is so hard because yes, we are always up to date because we are providing sellers with the ability to manage different marketplaces, whether it's US, Mexico, Europe, Brazil, and so on. We are obliged to keep up to date with the policy. So this is something we cannot escape. And whenever a new policy comes out, we're all running around the house and the office trying to make changes. So yes, we are always up to date, and whatever feature is available on Sellerboard, it's compliant with the TOS. We cannot allow ourselves not to be compliant because we are added as an official tool for Amazon sellers on Amazon's page for tools. Okay. If we do not comply with the TOS, will be removed, and thus sellers will not be able to connect their Sellerboard account with their Seller Central account. So yes, this is our obligation. We as well pay all the taxes, and we pay taxes just like all you guys. They're a lot because we're two, but yes, we are always compliant, and this makes us worry because whenever you receive a new email at 3-4 a.m., you just wake up and run around the house or around the office, and you try to apply the changes as soon as possible.
Okay, excellent. And hello, Vital, Frank, nice to see you here.
Hi.
And Sean also asks, and I think this is a cool question because I think one of the keys is that you guys are a lot cheaper. I think it's a good priced offer for what you offer, whereas a lot of others are much more expensive, sometimes even like 4 times. So, I mean, what's your plan on that? Is your plan to like raise prices in the future?
Guys, I'm not raising the price, not are the owners. So, as mentioned, I do marketing, I do negotiations and contracts and a lot of other stuff as well. But this has been our aim, to make it affordable for beginner sellers and for intermediate sellers, because I know a lot of people from my experience working with Sellerboard who are in so much debt in order to start their business on Amazon. So sometimes people lend money from their friends, from the bank, and so on. We want to make sure that your biggest expense is not the tool. This should be your lowest expense, because it's a tool. Of course, it's needed for everyone, and we know our worth. This is why we keep the price low. We do not plan to raise the price. All the features are available in each package, even the PPC optimization feature. We do not have that in plan. Our goal has never been to make millions out of the tool. Our goal has been to help sellers understand their business and help make it grow. Otherwise, there is no purpose. So our founders, Vladi and Michael, they're amazing. This is what they want to reach. Vladi didn't know his numbers. That's why he started the tool. And we want everyone to know their numbers. We don't intend and we don't plan to raise the price. It's always going to be the same, as long as Amazon allows us to. But this is not for the profit. This is more for the passion. Same, I've been here for almost 2 years. I've never been a seller, as mentioned to Dan before our live session. I just work for Sellerboard and know a lot of stuff, how it works and so on. And I've spoken to a lot of sellers and I know about their experience. I know about our partners' experience, what products they're selling, how much money they're doing. But our intention is to combine this Amazon seller community and help each other grow, and just positive energy and cool vibes. That's it. We don't do it for the money. We do it more for the passion. And as mentioned, neither of us are Amazon sellers, but based on Vlad's experience, he just charmed all of us with his charisma, and he made it work. So yes.
Cool. And Vital says, Dan, how can I reduce the risk of over ordering with inventory? I'm in a market in which the main sellers, main 4 to 5, are selling about 10,000 units a month. Okay, so it's a high demand market. And then he says, I started with 1,000 units monthly last month. So I'm going to assume you're selling 1,000 a month, Vital. I'm now going to start with 3,000 units using off traffic or maybe off Amazon traffic. And I'm putting already a 5,000 unit order, I'm going to guess, for delivery in July to August. So, Vital, when I speak about de-risking of over ordering, that's in the initial stages. So that's when you just start selling, because you don't know, is your offering enough? Is it going to convert? Is it, something that people are going to choose? Is it enough to overcome a barrier of reviews? Like, are they still going to choose you because your offering's better instead of someone who has more reviews? So that's the point at which I'm looking to rather test, and I maintain that. So let's say you think you could sell, 2,000 units a month. Well, on your first order, maybe just do 500, because you can test it. And remember, you're not going to have too much BSR to lose. You're not going to have much ranking to lose. So rather test it, run out, close the listing, and then reorder with confidence than get stuck with, 1,500 units you can't really move because the product, wasn't better enough. But in your case, it sounds like you're selling 1,000 units a month, which would be de-risked. So in this case, I wouldn't be applying that principle. I'd be looking at, okay, we need, let's say, 3 to 6 months of inventory at a prep center or at Amazon. And, so that's what we're going to order. So we stay in stock, but we also don't hit long-term storage fees. And then at a certain point, you might want to use a prep center just so you can store inventory within that market, but not at Amazon. And you can do like really big orders then. That's when you can start looking at container loads, full container loads, which is much cheaper. But Vital, I hope that I'm assuming things correctly from your question, and that helps. But once you have confidence it sells, you've de-risked yourself. And then you want to look more at the numbers and inventory planning, which Jenny kind of covered here with inventory planning in Sellerboard as well.
Yeah, so
and
thank
Sean
you,
said,
because I'm not allowed to give advice. I've never been a seller. I'm not a seller, but I would assume that you don't want to order much more than you will sell and then pay for the warehouse fees. And you would
yes,
not want to order much less, otherwise you'll be running out of stock while people are wanting to order more. I think you need to know your sales velocity, and Sellerboard can help you with that.
perfect. And Sean says, do not worry yourself, you are making clear sense. So thank you, Jenny.
Thank you. I'm happy that by the end of the day, I have so much energy to explain.
Perfect. And let's see. FRF asks, what is her name and her channel link? So do you have like a channel link, even if it's for Sellerboard?
Sure.
How can people find you?
I am not allowed to give my private information, but I can give you my Facebook. So I'm Jenny Adams on Facebook. You'll probably know me by the picture because it's public, and I'm open to all messages that are being sent. They're being received to me, and I tend to respond to them as soon as I can. We have a YouTube channel which is Sellerboard. So you can just type in Sellerboard into YouTube, and you'll see 3 channels. So the first one would be in English, the second one would be in Russian, and the third one would be in German. I can speak Arabic, but we don't have an Arabic one yet. But yeah, not Arab, but I learned. One more thing. Yes, and we have a Facebook page. We have an Instagram page. It's Sellerboard Show, if I'm not mistaken. On Facebook, we're just Sellerboard. If you have any questions, you can find me as Jenny Adams. I mean, if you're added or joining a lot of Amazon seller groups, you'll probably see me on the first list or on the first page of the search results. But yes, I'm Jenny Adams, or you can reach me at jenny@sellerboard.com, JENNY, or just Sellerboard on YouTube, and that's it. So you
Cool.
can choose whatever language would be most preferable for you. I'm likely to respond to either. And I know Arabic as well, just like for fun.
Cool. Also,
Sure.
Jenny came on today. It wasn't like a paid partnership or anything.
No,
So she's
thank
just
you so
sharing.
much. I very much appreciate the fact that it's a Thursday. It's pretty late. I don't know. It's 8 my time. It should be late for you as well. And
Perfect. Not bad.
as mentioned, I've been trying to get you on a call or in a live session for over a year, and it's thank you so much, because I understand what kind of calendar you might have or schedule. I have the same one, and it's a lot of pleasure. I'm very thankful that you found the time.
No, for sure. And thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
on. We do have a link below as well, below this video for you guys, where if you use that link, it will also give you, I think, like 30 days extra on the free trial.
2 months. 2 months.
Okay, 2 months. So you get like 2 months free trial.
Yes.
Which is
No credit card required when you register. Once your trial ends, free trial ends, you will be asked for a credit card. But when you're registered, there is no need for a credit card.
cool. And Vital says, do you think I'm very fast, or is it just normal to scale up from 1,000 to 10,000 monthly in a month? That's really
That's
fast. So
fast.
like
Yes.
to go from
Amazing.
1,000 to 10,000 is extremely quick.
You also
Even
need to think why, because is it whether you're I'm not a pro, but based on my experience and my knowledge with sellers, you should understand whether you sold so much because you're selling a product that is seasonal. For example, now swimming suits are seasonal because it's hot outside, right? And it's not winter anymore. Whether you're selling a product that's seasonal, or whether you're selling a normal product that is needed 12 months a year, or whether you've done some PPC campaigns. So you need to analyze why, because if you do not, you are, I hope not, and I pray not, but it's more likely that if you do not know the reason and you don't keep up, you will go down, and that would be more disappointing for you. So thus I would advise you to understand the reason so that you can keep on the right track. Yes.
yeah, even to get to 1,000 units in month one, or in fact month two, because month one you're really launching. But even to get to 1,000 units a month in the first 2 months, that's really good. So 10,000 is extreme. And I wouldn't, like Vital, I wouldn't be worried about reordering. But just the one thing to keep in mind is that long-term storage with Amazon. Because sometimes people go, okay, I'm going to order 20,000 units. But the problem is, yes, that's going to cover you for like a year or what have you. But keeping it in the warehouse for that long is going to cost you a lot of money. So you have to look at strategies around that. Your thing is more about if you're selling consistently 10,000 a month, your thing now is about how much can I order without getting, restricted and having cost problems. And Mahad says, some of us use Helium 10, and we want to know, what is Sellerboard able to offer that Helium 10 is not able to offer?
Sure.
Or better, what are the differences?
Sure. I am not here to convince you. I mean, as bad and as good as it may sound, I'm not here to convince you to quit Helium 10 and start using us. This is not my purpose. This is not my job. This is not the reason I'm here. I'm here to help you with Dan, of course. We're here to help you learn more about different tools that can help you grow your business. We don't hate other tools just because we're from other, and we just a second. I'm sorry.
No problem.
I'm being called by my team.
No problem. I'll jump in while you do
I'm
that.
sorry, this was a very important message. So yes, once again, our tool is the reason I'm here, and the reason Dan invited me is not to ask you to leave other tools and use us. No, each tool is different, and each tool provides different options and different features and so on. We provide you with. I have actually a note that will better help me explain what I'm doing. So yes, so we are best for inventory management, profit analytics, email campaigns, reimbursements for lost and damaged stock, FBA errors, PPC optimizer, listing change alerts, and so on. So other tools separately charge for the money back feature, getting reimbursed. We include that in our package, in either package. Other tools charge additionally for PPC optimization. We include that. So I can make it so much easier for you. Find a tool that costs $15 a month. Simple as that. I mean, I know that we're the best not because I work here, because I've had experience with sellers, and of course we cannot be the best at everything, but we are the most accurate, and we are great. We're amazing. I love every single day I work here, because I know that I make a difference, as well as our tool does. You can pay for well, I don't want to make you hate Helium 10, but you can pay them 100, 200. I don't even know their pricing, to be honest. I don't check their website, but I know that I assume that they charge around over $100, 200. So you can pay for their tools if their tools are needed for your business. But whether the features that we offer is enough for you, then why don't you just pay $15 a month instead of paying 100, 200, 300, and so on? So it all depends on your needs. I don't want to make you quit some other tool and run to us. No, but it would not cost you anything to try us out. Plus, you're saving money, and I think that should be a plus for everyone. No, so yes, all tools provide different purposes. So I haven't checked even the Helium 10 demo. I know there are a competitor, but to be honest, I don't see a reason I should. But I know they're great because I have a few friends who work for them. But and I am impressed by how many users they have. So yes, they're cool, but it depends on what features you need. If our features are enough for you, which are enough for most of the users, we have over 1,000 by now, and we were founded by the end of 2017. So for some people, we're enough. It all depends on you and your needs. I mean, some people like chocolates and they can eat one a day, and some people need 10 a day. It all depends on your needs, and that's it.
I think the key is,
I don't want to sound rude or to sound disrespectful.
But
everyone works. Yes.
From my perspective, it's like you can use Sellerboard for, with a 2-month free trial.
Yes.
Give it a trial. Because something I find is it's not just about the features or what it has, but it's like almost how you feel using it. Like, does it work with your brain? So some tools are better in that respect. And for some, it's going to be good to get like a product research tool, maybe even a lower cost
product research. We don't plan to have product research.
I know, but for some, it will be better to get a product research tool like low cost with Sellerboard, and that could be a really good unison. For others, they want certain features of other tools. So, but what I like is that you guys are tackling different problems like cash flow or inventory planning.
Exactly.
So that's
reimbursement for lost and damaged stock. I mean, it's great. You don't pay separately for that. I mean, I've never been a seller to judge from a seller's perspective. I cannot do that. I don't have such experience. But each tool is best for a certain thing. I mean, we don't have product research. If you need everything else except product research, use us. I will even I'm so sorry. It's my dog. I'm so sorry. It's fine. I'm sorry.
And then Jenny, are you going to add? Are there any plans to add product research in the
No,
future?
no, not at the moment, because our aim was inventory and PPC and so on. Not in the
I
upcoming
like that though.
month.
That's
We
better.
don't want to be. I mean, when you have so much in you, you cannot focus on any thought. It's the same with the software. When you have just too many features, you're not going to use all. So we don't want to have us dusted with everything. Let's say that. We'd like to keep it simple. Yeah, that's it. We
I like
not at
that.
the moment. We don't plan to add, even I would say in the upcoming year. No, we don't
Okay.
even think about it. I mean, I've suggested that, but my suggestion was declined. So no.
Cool. And then Sean asks, what is normal on Amazon? Is it normal to start selling 200 to 400 units and the second month get to 1,000, or is normal, 20 to 50 in the first month? So I think your first sentence is good, Sean. Like if you're just launching a product in the first month, you might, and it depends on the demand, but you might I think these are pretty good estimates. You might do between 200 and 400 a month in a lot of US markets in your first month if you have a very good launch, or in the month just following launch. And then you could scale up to 1,000. I don't think, generally not that quickly, but it might be 2 months out from that you get to 1,000, if that's what you see other sellers doing there. But yeah, I like that. I think that's a good estimate for sure. And let's see.
It's good as long as you're selling at least something. Some people, I mean, I join all these Amazon groups, and some people complain that they don't sell for weeks. As long as you're selling, man, you're doing a good job. I mean, you're still doing something.
And JB asks, can Sellerboard help me with accounting and taxation specifically? So what do you think, Jen?
With accounting, yes, we have a QuickBooks integration, so we will help you with that. With taxation, well, you see, if you're selling in Europe, you will have to pay VAT taxes. I know that Europe charges for VAT, but I don't know about other countries, so I cannot give massive advice on that. But we will show you per products and per sales how much you should be paying for VAT, but we cannot take that commission, go pay instead of you. We'll have to do that yourself, but we'll show you what's the VAT rate. For accounting, yes, because you'll be able to understand how many units were sold, how many orders were sold, what's the cost of goods, and how much profit you have by the end of the day on your hands, on your payout, and in your balance, and so on. And we have a QuickBooks integration, which I've been waiting for so long. We finally have it for the past few months. It's amazing. But you cannot always rely on artificial intelligence. We have a support team, a huge support team that's on 24/7. But still, I mean, you can't rely on a robot to wash your dishes, because any day he'll break 1 or 2 or 10 and so on. Same way. You cannot rely, I mean, I like the wash dishes because I don't like doing it. But same way, you cannot rely on a software to do everything for you while you sleep and dream of butterflies, and like girls like to do it, because I'm a girl and they know it. But you should always be checking as well. This is my personal point of view, that this is not our company's point of view, and so on. Trust but check. Let's do it this way. So it will help you for accounting. It will help you with taxes, but you'll need to go and pay them yourselves. You cannot pay them through our software and so on. I hope I replied to your question, but
no, that's good. That's the first thing I thought of when we were, talking inventory planning, cash flow planning, and we're putting all of this in. It's literally like accounting. Actually, at the beginning, I said it's like really important, almost more in the beginning, if you don't have accounting or accountants or accounting software, because it is like accounting software almost.
Yes.
As a byproduct. So that's really interesting that you can, take all of that and then move it into QuickBooks. and immediately have like, your Xero or QuickBooks or whatever off of this data. So I like it.
Yeah, but
And then,
make sure you're always paying that, please. This is for you. We will not be touched by that. But I mean, Amazon notices and everyone notices, so make sure you pay your VAT. Yes, this I've just heard a lot of complaints from. I'm in all Amazon groups and I read a lot of complaints and a lot of people asking for advices and so on. So make sure you pay your VAT on time.
sure. And then Jenny, just the last two, I would like you to screen share before
Sure.
we close up.
Cool.
But number one is
Let's
the trends tool.
Okay.
I really want to see a bit what that can do. And then
Can you see my
lastly,
screen?
I think actually let's finish up with the trends tool. I think that's a good one. We've covered the rest.
So this is trends.
Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So this is trends. And I will show you, for example, BSR. So what's trends? I cannot explain it in a definition. So do you mind if I explain it in an example? I think it would be so much easier for everyone to understand. All right? Dan?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. So let's assume we have a problem. So the problem is that we have more than 5 products or variants on Amazon, and it's very hard for us to keep track of all important KPIs for every product or variant and to make sure we don't have a negative trend. Such KPIs, for example, will include BSR, as I've clicked here. They will include sales. They will include returns, refunds, Amazon fees, profit, and so on. If one of these KPIs, as mentioned here, these are the KPIs, has worsened lately, then the seller should take action, such as, for example, decrease the price, check the quality of the product, run PPC ads, and so on. The solution to this, which makes it so much easier, oh my God, is trends. So basically, this is trends. What you can do with trends is you can select a KPI. For example, the easiest one will be, let's say, BSR, for example, right? The time frame that we'll show here, just example per product. So based on the time frame, you'll be able to see a table with products and their month-by-month performance, including the value of the KPI and the percentage compared to the last month. So it's loading. Let me refresh it. Sorting the table, which I'll show you right now, will immediately show you all your problematic, for example, SKUs and the ones where BSR dropped in the last month comparing to the previous month. For example, let's do descending. This is how I'm dropping it down. So you see here that your BSR here is 1000%, right? Just a second. And you'll see, but this is the way for you to count BSR. So you'll be able to understand whether it has worsened or it has bettered lately. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Based on them, so it's going to carry on a decreasing order. So let me check, right? Delta decreasing, yes. So you'll be able to understand how well it is doing up to the current month. So you'll see here.
So I think the 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 6 is a good example.
Let's say sales, for example. It will be a better explanation other than bestseller rank. So you'll see here that it's decreasing, then it's increasing, there it's decreasing, it's increasing again, decreasing again, the red is decreasing, the green is increasing. So if it's decreasing and if it's red, you should make changes. If it's green, then everything is cool. You should leave it as it is. So basically, What it does, it helps you keep track of the KPIs so that you should know what you should be changing. For example, the sales. At the moment, we're tracking sales. Sales are decreasing. Just a second.
Okay, so we can look at like all different factors.
Sure.
Over
These
the
are the
months.
KPIs. It's loading, I'm sorry. You're right. We can take a look on the different factors and we can analyze them, whether we're doing better or worse. So in sales, we're doing better the past 2 months. No, actually, it's going from this order. So we're doing better here. So you see a chart here. In units, just a second, we are doing worse. So it's a minus 100 and minus 99. The green is the positive. So we should change something. This is the KPIs that you should take into account and into thinking. And you should analyze based on these big KPIs what you should be changing in your listing. Whether maybe you don't need to change anything with your listing, but you need to run PPC ads, for example, and so on.
Okay, cool. I like that because if you're like launching a product, you can actually watch the BSR drop through the months even.
Yes, I will show you the bestseller rank. This is actually the easiest part of the KPIs, but it's the hardest to explain. So yes. Well, let's do descending here. So you will see your bestseller rank. How is it going according to months?
Yeah.
This
like
is a demo account. It will be a bit different in your real account.
For sure. Number 6 is good because you can see from November all the way to today, and you can see it dropping.
Yes.
Yeah, this one. So that's a good indicator, up and down through the months, but fairly stable.
I'm not a pro in seller experience, but I would suggest, I think in any problem, you should either change your listing or run PPC campaigns, but I may be wrong. So don't listen to me. But this is just
this is cool. This is like stable. Just some. Also, what I like about it is this could actually indicate seasonality. So it could indicate when your product sells really well, when it doesn't, and you can actually plan inventory off of that as well.
I mean, you should also take in consideration whether there are upcoming holidays and whether your products are likely to, I mean, everyone knows that Q4 is the best, right? Christmas, New Year, holidays. And Christmas presents are most likely to sell a lot, especially within US and Europe. So if you're selling at the moment something that's just sellable in the summer season, just like it's sellable in the Christmas season, we're more likely to understand the reason you're selling. But if you're selling a product that is consumable, for example, if you're selling baby food, right? It's needed any time of the year. If you've suddenly started to make better this month and not the past few months, then you need to analyze why, because your product is in demanded 24/7 all month a year, not just on specific seasons.
Awesome. And Nilambur, that was Salabord. So you can watch from the beginning. If you did join late, we're just going over Salabord and what features are useful for scaling specifically when you start to grow your business. But Sean, thank you for joining. He says it's late. He's off to sleep. And we will also actually close up.
Yes.
But Jenny, thank you so much for joining. I am actually going to drop links below.
For 2 months free trial?
To Salabord. And then also to another video on cash flow management if you want to check that out. But Jenny, thank you very much for joining.
I'm so thankful to you. It's a pleasure. And I've wanted so much to get in your channel and, appear a bit. So I'm so thankful that you've actually found the time. This is, by the way, guys, this is not a sponsored video. Nothing like that. We just found mutual time that we're available at. And I'm very thankful. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. You're so nice. So thank you for having us on your show. It's amazing. I'm so
Awesome.
happy.
Awesome, Jenny. Well, thank you very much. Maybe we can plan something in the future as well.
Yes, yes,
Go over
definitely.
different
Anytime
things.
you want.
For
I'm
sure.
already.
Well, thank you to everyone who's also watching. And
Thank you
please
for
smash
the
that like
questions.
button. Remember to subscribe if you're not. But keep well, and we will catch you guys in the next one.